get a sound check. Okay, sounds good. Shut that off. Bring that up. Hello, man. Hello, MGTOWs. It's Thursday night. It's cold Thursday night in beautiful Providence, Ohio. And that's what it is. And I just thought I'd come on and say hello to everybody and talk a little bit about current events and everything. And I got a new pointer. So I hope you're all doing well today. I'll just wait a couple minutes here before I go in. I really don't have a topic today. It's one of those topicless. I'm topicless. I'm lactating. Yeah. Let me move this more into focus. And yeah. So whatever you want to talk about, that's what we'll talk about. But I'll start off with, again, Angry MGTOW has left. That's probably the biggest news. Not really surprising news, is it? Surprising news would be like, Barbarossa got a girlfriend. That was shocking news in MGTOW. What else was some shocking news? Howard Dare hasn't made a video in a month. So now we get a chance to do some a retrospective look at everything and the way everything played out there again. And some guys would go, well, yeah, Angry gave us the filthy Sanchez. That's he came back for the filthy Sanchez, and he really did. And but he's going through it again. Love is one of those things, for a young man. I think he said he was 31, 32. He's going to try out. He's going to try to have a family. It's a very attractive, appealing thing, a family in today's modern society. In the millennial generations, millennials are getting up there too, 26, 25. I don't know how old they are now. So they're starting to feel the crunch. Millennial, the fire festival people, the failed fire festival people. That's what I think of when I think of millennials. Yeah. So Angry's gonna go try that thing, and I reposted my video with him coming back the last time, so I reposted that up today. You can go look at that. I'll put it in the low bar, and I listened to it today. And in retrospect, it was just a learning. We all go through this growth in here, and that's what I told Angry yesterday. He said, Trav, I thought you were going to be mad at me. And I said, why would I be mad at you? You're just doing whatever man in the world does. I mean, there's no special talent. It doesn't take no special talent. I love those guys that, hey, man, my special skill is, picking up women and having sex. Sex is, everybody can do it. Amoebas can do it, or amoebas split in half at least. I guess, women can have babies in comas, which we just found out that, have y'all been following that story lately about the female in the coma? That was interesting. And she wasn't really in a coma. She was in this half dazed, uncomprehensive state. She couldn't comprehend anything around her, and then so they overinflated it, and it turned out to be one of the orderlies at the place had his way with her. Yeah, that was great for men, toxic masculinity. And worst part about it, he was Hispanic too. That was just beautiful for all the arguments, that's going on about immigration. I was like, post that up there too. That was just perfect. Life is perfect, isn't it? Life is perfectly. I don't know what you call it. Karma is perfect. And Angry leaving is perfect. It's just a perfect thing. And So we can look back at that, and we can look back at that video I made May 16th, I think it was, probably 8 months and some days ago. And then I was grinning like a little kid because through the whole thing, I was grinning like a little boy because I knew. And I think I'd asked him at one point, what can your fans expect? The same old thing? You're going to come in, you're going to go out. You're going to come in, you're going to go out. Anytime a piece walks by, you're going to chase it, and that's what it's going to be. And oh no, this time it's for real. This time it's for real. And the scam kept up, and he made quite a bit of money off of MGTOW, and he's probably going to move on to, I think we see a larger crowd in MGTOW now around and I think that's what Eli should do too, around the not MGTOWs, that hate MGTOWs. And hello, Arveki. Hello, how are you today? We're just having an impromptu talk today. Since it's really cold here and I can't go outside, I can't ride my bike. Tomorrow it's going to warm up. It's going to be great. It's going to be a pleasant, balmy 30 degrees. Let's go outside. Oh, man. Yeah. So Angry has left us again, and he said, Trav, I thought you were going to be mad, but I was thinking about my learning experience in MGTOW, the learning curve that I had to go through over the years here, and not being so rageful about things, and just kind of know how this is going to turn out. You get kind of comfortable, and you look at all the stuff that's going around in the me generation, and wow, them kids got it tough. And I don't think, I'm pretty much at this point, I don't know if the millennials are ever going to get it, are ever going to get MGTOW. We've seen such a downward curve, and I think they like the idea of being a MGTOW, and I think a lot of people like the idea of MGTOW being MGTOW. I think married men rather, yeah, I'm married and I can be MGTOW, and they like the idea of being MGTOW because it gets trendy and it's cool, and it makes me different and unique and special, and that in itself you would think would be the biggest turn on for a millennial, because it's about me. It's the Me Too generation, the me generation. I think they are calling them the me generation now. Yeah, you think that would be the biggest part? You can be new and cool, get yourself a MGTOW jacket, say I'm different than the rest and everything. But most of us have realized over the years, Angry MGTOW is going to always be with us. He's going to always be around. He's going to always be the Angry MGTOW. And whatever he's selling or whatever he's doing, he's going to be around. And that's what we have to. That was the point of I brought him on 8 months ago. I said, he said to me then, are you mad, Trav? I said, no, I'm not mad. Why would I be mad? You give people the best life the best life lesson. And let me tell you something. I love that cat because he gives people the best life lesson at the lowest cost available. It just costs a couple bucks a month or a couple bucks a week. If you do Patreon with them, it only costs you $10, $15 a week. Oh man. Oh yeah, they put that new message up there. Isn't that a weird message? Welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by the community guidelines. And then you go and I don't know which one you're seeing. I'm seeing that one. And then I know there's another one when I go and it's welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by the community guideline. And remember not to post, pictures of yourself, naked or dick pics, stuff like that. It's like, wow, like they had to tell us that. And, but it's funny. It's just another way. And we knew that was coming with I think we talked about that. Okay, now I can get community strikes for what they're saying, and I would respect the guys area, I suppose. And they forced me to take that new I think they're forced me to take the new. They'll regulate my chat. They'll decide what's the new bot in there. So I gave up, and I was like, "Are you regulated? I don't care. I don't care what goes on in the chat." It's like, uh, and that's been my attitude, and it is a lot of efforts. I got the efforts. The efforts. Angry's gone. I would like to get my M in there. Get my M. I started making the MGTOW thing, but I got to the G and and then I got the T made, but the G keeps. It's like, man, that's so lame. So hello everybody that showed up today, and I just wanted to toss it around. If you got a topic, put a topic up. I don't really care. I'll talk about anything anybody wants me to talk about. That's too much my head. You don't want to see my head. And hello, Double G. How are you? Haven't seen you around in a while. Yeah, any topics you want to talk about? I was going to talk about transcendentalism, and I was going to go on my same. We were working up through. I think we're right at the point where we're going to talk about Dewey, and we're going to talk about transcendentalism, and then we're going to talk about how pragmatism kind of fizzled out in the 50s after Dewey, and it became more of an educational guide. But then I decided not to, because I started getting into interesting about, I was really, really interested in Pierce's, Charles Sanders Peirce, and how he went through with Juliet Peirce with his wife. She was a feminist. Yeah, one of the first feminists, and from the first feminist movement. And she was the one that, Juliet Peirce was the one that a lot of you guys maybe confused non-MGTOWs who try to suck up the MGTOW. That's a good topic, and that's what this is probably going to go today, since Angry MGTOW, the Angry MGTOW is gone now again, and he's going to get married or whatever he's going to do. But that is a good topic. But I was looking at interesting, and I've been all day and all week. I read through a lot of books, and I was on Charles Sanders Peirce, and he was the founder of pragmatism, and but it's why I say MGTOW is a continuation of pragmatism, because we were going to talk about Dewey and through the 50s, up to the 50s, and how he took how he lost his child, and how the family was. He would talk about his young boy. His name was William Dewey, and they named it after his father, I think. And he would rant on about how beautiful the boy was, how interesting they were, and he was going to start. And then they lost him. He went to France, I think, and the boy died of dysentery. Wow, I couldn't imagine dying of dysentery. How horrible that must be. But it was common, and we kind of know how to heal that now. But I was gonna. Angry MGTOW is going to get married. I think he is. I think he really is. He says he wants to have a family. And that's why I was kind of thinking about Dewey. Nothing more in Dewey's life did he want to have a child, a family. And he had a daughter. But that boy, that boy. And I know how I feel about my boys. I think they're the greatest thing in the whole world. I rant about, how well my youngest boy does, and how I love my oldest boy, and that and everything. There's nothing like that experience in the whole world. And then we got the Me Too generation now, and it's an interesting thing that you have to do now to copulate, to share your prodigy and all that stuff. And you know how I feel about it now. I wouldn't change anything in the world now about how I feel about it. And I wish I had that attitude then. But I don't believe they're your kids. So, and then that's where the whole thing comes in. You're not a father. It's just a fake word and all that stuff. It's, you're a fada. No, it's just part of the matrix. That's why we call it the matrix. Do you guys know why we call it the matrix, basically? Does anybody know that? Well, Does anybody know that? I think I went over this once in the linguistics of Matrix, the etymology of Matrix, and everybody thinks it's because of the movie. No, the movie was fine and everything, but the Matrix in itself Matrix is matra. That means womb. In Latin, the womb, from the womb, the bones, the skeletal bones inside of a womb is what a matrix. When you look at a matrix in today's, yeah, guys didn't know that. Huh? Look it up. Matrix, matra, mother. Yeah, yeah, from the womb, and then it gets ambiguous from there. Is it the bones or is it the womb? And that's right. You got a very pragmatic question. So is the matrix, the blue pill world that we talk about, the matrix, is it the bones or is it the womb? And are we all still in the womb of that? And I thought I was thinking about that yesterday with the flat earthers, and how they perceive their world. And everybody knows. And that stuff is fun to think about and everything. Most logical people know that the world's round and the moon's round and the sun's round and all the planets are round, except for those two rocks out in space, Deimos and Eurythus or something like that. They look like a snowman, and but that never spun, and then gravity comes from the Earth's spinning and everything. We know but it's fun to think about the matrix and that and the way they think about it, and it's skepticism. It's like what flat earthers are really saying is just, hey, don't trust anything. Ask questions about everything. Even ask questions about the things that, I think, not Pierce, but, Morris. Morris would say it's the obvious. And that was his disagreement with Locke. And that was his disagreement in Hobbesian philosophy. He says, all you guys do is state the obvious. And that's what I said about that French cat that's still alive. I can't remember his name right now. I says, the dude just states the obvious. And that's what makes pragmatism different. But we'll go back and we'll digress back to what I was really talking about. Juliette Lewis. Juliette Lewis was Charles Sanders Lewis's wife. And he worked at, when they first brought the John Hopkins, the philosophy department in John Hopkins there. He moved from Cambridge to John Hopkins and took the job there, and they fired him. They fired him because he was screwing around on his wife. He didn't love his wife. But his wife was a feminist, and she quoted that. You'll hear it a lot, and who is Juliette Lewis? She gets quoted. She's the one that said that all men should be put in jail for life for adultery. Yeah, back then it was like that was her thing, and that was the suffrage movement. But we look at the suffrage movement, and what was the don't drinking part of the suffrage movement? I can't even think about that. Jay knows the don't drinking part of the suffering. But there was another part. It was about cheating and that stuff. And she was the one that was like, we should put men in jail for the rest of her life, because it was perceived at that time that men were the only ones that did that. And they're the only ones that cheat. Through the industrial age, we got quite the bad rap for being cheaters right up to the 1950s, where men just got the bad rap for being cheaters. And it just kind of stuck with us. But Juliette Lewis was that, not Juliette Lewis, Juliette Pierce. Juliette Lewis. No, she was an actor from, I can't remember which movie she was in, but Juliette Pierce was that. And that was his wife. He got fired 2 days after he divorced her from his job. Charles Sanders Peirce, one of the greatest philosophers ever, got fired 2 days after because the secret came out. And oh my God, in 1891, your secret, he had a French lover. But he takes sort of my point of view about MGTOWs. Most MGTOWs know this. Most MGTOWs have been through this, and once you've been through it, it's like I say with my wife. She says it's none of your business now what I do with my body, and I thought, my God, that's great, because it's none of your business what I do with my life after this. And I really do mean that. It's none of the court's business. It's none of her business. It's none of nobody's business what you do as a MGTOW. And that's the way it should be in life. That's total freedom of mind, and freedom to be what you want. That's a sovereign person. The sovereigns are getting a lot of slack lately. It's interesting to watch. I was gonna like start a sovereign section, the sovereigns, but then we get equated to sovereigns, and we have to change how our philosophy goes. Because we say we're sovereign individuals that just want to be left alone. It's nobody's business what we do. We're not hurting nobody. So I watched Joe Buddy, and he did his thing on Eli this week too. So we have angry MGTOW. He's leaving again, and I'll always love angry. And like I said, I love anybody that'll give someone the best lesson of their life at the best value too. Angry offers the best value, unless you're really, really stupid. And if you're really, really stupid, angry will give you a really, really expensive lesson. But most guys, it's just going to cost them $60-$70 or how much you give them into Patreon. And I bet you his Patreon's suffering right now. But yeah, maybe. And I was mowing over in my head that it's probably with the way the millennials are, he'll probably be more popular outside of MGTOW. Is in that group. It's like pulling the MGTOW you were right. Now you're going to pull the MGTOW you were wrong, and then you got like much more people out there. Anybody that knows you, once you taper down to the other end, the blue pill, there's just much more blue pill people out there. They'll be happy to have an ex MGTOW that agrees with everything they say and does a public recantation on that. And that's what it's all about. It's about a public recantation. That's all the Matrix wants, Matra, mother, the womb wants, is her public recantation. And that's what Me Too is about. And that's what the women want. They want their public, they want the, hey Jay, remember when them four little creepy guys were like, "We're sorry, women's. We're so sorry." They did that awful cringy thing, and they were from the Christian church. And that was a public recantation, and that's all you can get that you can get that from men. And then men come on, and it's like, "We're sorry for like being men, and we're sorry because there was some rapes over here, and we're sorry because we're stronger." And they'll do all sorts of "I'm sorry's," but that's what Angry's doing right now. He's going to have to go through a period of public recantation, and public recantations will get you really popular really fast, because you know what it does? It's like everybody's better than you then. And everybody hates somebody that's better than them. Everybody hates somebody it's the Chad thing. I got a bug. I got him. Everybody hates the Chad thing. Why? Because Chad's bigger than you. He's handsome than you. He's better. Everybody hates somebody better than you. The high school football star, he's in the Heisman, he's like got muscles like this big. His arms are, well, they're not as big as mine because I got 20-inch guns. But yeah, he's like, he's just ripped and got a six-pack, and he's better than people, and people hate that, especially men. People hate when men are smarter and better, and you go to even in work, you got that guy, he's the know-it-all, he's the brainiac of the company, and everybody just hates him. He's like, "Man, that guy thinks he's so smart." The guy with the 80 IQ going, "Yeah, that guy thinks he's so smart." It just cracks me up. It's like, don't think about him, dude. He is better. And I mean, there are people that are better than you in life. And I used to have a friend. I would think that way. And he was a doctor of he delivered babies. He was what do you call them, doctors that delivered babies, and he had a great car, and he had this perfect hair, and his wife was like this beautiful blonde, and he wasn't happy, but everybody, it's like he was just, and I would look at him once in a while, and I this dude, you're just better than me. It's like in every single way. It's like yeah, this is better than me in every single way, and then it stopped bothering me because I just knew he was just a regular guy. He was just born that way or something, and it was just better. But don't get mad about those things. Those things are, that's life, and that's what I try to teach the incels, man, dude. Don't go, because there's nothing as cringy as like Chad hate. It's like Chad's just a guy, and he's just better than you. But nobody likes somebody that's better than them, and that's what I can't remember. I have to regress back to where I was before I just started laughing about that in my head, and but I can't remember what I was talking about now. I think we were talking about somehow angry, but the millennials and the millennials idea of they just, but that's what'll get you. That's what I was at popularity. Everybody thinks that it's the sort of the reverse Sargon effect. And yeah, I guess it is the Sargon effect. When Sargon comes on and he goes like, "All you guys are stupid and you're lazy and most of you are fat," and you know who you're talking about, and every person on there thinks they're talking about the other person. It's like he calls them plebes, does he? And everybody thinks he's talking about the other person, and that's the Sargon effect. Everybody always thinks they're talking about the other person. It's like, it couldn't possibly be me. It couldn't possibly be me. I was like, yep, you're probably talking about me. But I'm really comfortable with that in life. I don't care what people think, actually. And that's my new attitude lately. Ooh, I got another bug. I've been having these little flies lately, and I don't know where they're coming from. I think I got to take out my garbage. They're quick too. And yeah, so that's my new attitude. I don't care what happens anymore. I got this real MGTOW efforts going on as of late. The efforts. I didn't think I was a guy that ever was going to get the efforts, but yeah, I got them bad. I'm like, I'm not even. I didn't even buy a new video. They sent me the thing for the new video editor, and I was like, every year I buy a new video editor. I bought the Magic's last year and the Magic's the year before, and it was like $300 or something. I was like, this is gonna be a great video. They sent it this year, and now I'll just use the old one. I don't care. I got the fuckets. I don't want it. I don't even know when was the last time I actually made a real video. No, I'm not going to do that stuff anymore. I just got the fucks. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll get on fire with the MGTOW. I like to see that something new happen around here. But so we were kind of talking about angry and what we can expect to see. And if you've been listening to me long enough, everything in MGTOW is circular. It goes around and it comes back, and it goes around and it comes back. And I think that was my point when I was grinning like a little kid the day I had angry on there, because I knew it was going to happen, and he knew it was. And I said to him at one point, "You're just sarcastically doing it," and he smiled, and he just kind of giggled like he does, that infectious giggle, and he's like, "I know what you're going to do, and you know what you're going to do, but they don't know." They trust you. But that's okay. He'll probably do better outside of MGTOW if he gets that sort of skeptics thing happening, where he brings the girls in and brings his wife around, and they can do she's angry, whatever, and he's angry guy. So it'd be great. I'd watch it and say, good, great. But a lot of things happening around MGTOW. Eli made a video the other day, his third or fourth now. He's making a monthly how he has nothing more to do with MGTOW. This is his fourth one. I'm sure, I'm positive in my heart that this is going to be the last one. What a confused guy Eli is. And then he's like, but I love Traversable. Did you hear the part where he says, I love Riff and I love Traversable? Because I'm not as angry anymore. And that's all I could equate it to. Like I was, you are so lucky you didn't meet me 4 years ago, because I would have just yelled at you forever. And now I don't really care. I got the F-its, and it's like, cool, Eli, do that. You should make walking with I told him you should make walking with Eli videos, because that would be really cool. It's just, I could sit back and just walking with Eli. Like, great concept. Eli had more final wear to than the Rolling Stones. Yeah, he did. It's funny. It gets to a point where all this shit just, and that's a good point. I think it's a good point in MGTOW, where all this just stupid crap they bring on us, and they shovel on us, and they try, it's like holding up that moon again. How do I do that? Like that. It's like holding that moon up right there. It's like they shovel that shit on you. And that's what they've been doing to you all your life, just shoveling that garbage on you. And MGTOW's no different. They'll shovel all the garbage on your back and see how much you can carry until it breaks you down. But there's one thing around here, humor. Humor kind of breaks up the monotony around MGTOW. If there was one thing around here that we have a serious shortage of, it's humor. And sometimes you can just find the humor in anything. And watching MGTOW or watching Eli videos, just walking, it's like, he's like, he's such an idiot. And I can sit and laugh if you can find the humor in that. It's just that's what you should do. And I suggest that's what you should do, instead of getting all angry and at him. It's like, good one, Eli. Wow. And the Purple Pillars, they don't think that MGTOW's like these guys. And I'm sure Paul and Gravy back and NJ and everything, they have a gentle alliance. And we've seen this like way back, just way back in the days with the anti-feminists. They have a gentle alliance with this feminist girl. So, and then they yell back at each other. It's permission to yell back at it. Now think of that as Eli and the Purple Pillars. The Purple Pillars have a gentle alliance with Eli. I mean, they want him to stay. They need him to stay, because he's the Eli. He provides hours and hours of entertainment for the Purple Pillars. And without Eli, what would they have to talk about? They've got no philosophy. They're one BJ away from just getting married. I think any one of the Purple Pillars would get married with one of those 2-week Las Vegas marriages. Yeah, I've known her for 2 weeks. I'm so in love. She gave me a BJ. And I got a question. Is that what we've seen with Angry again? Angry. I don't know how long his relationship. It couldn't have been that long. It's like he's going to whisk her off to Las Vegas. One of those. But that would be a thing to do if he was going to get married. I'd whisk her off to like a different country and then get married in a different country and then come back to your country and pretend like you were married there. God, that little fly is really, but it's one of those really little flies, and it's like just buzzing around. It's been around me all day long. Check their latest video. Whose latest, Paul? There's a beef between oh yeah, there was that beef. TFM came out and he's like going at DDJ, and that's interesting stuff. All through, I watched it. He doesn't know I watch it. He blocks me anyways. Let me see. Show. What is Paul Aaron Rubin? TFM said the thing was emotions is plastic rubber doll, and nobody has the right to interfere with his relationship. Yeah, someone was looking someone else's. Yeah, that's what I always say. What if you bought one of those dolls and your buddy came over and you're like, "I'll go get some beer," and you come back and he's like, just pumping your down. Would it hurt that? I don't know if once with these guys, or whether they're emotionally attached to them. Some of them, I think they're emotionally attached, and that was my problem with the paraphernalia, the emotional attachment to to it. And oh, it's like, oh God, you come and walk in the door, and then we will see sometime, because men don't change. And we hear man walks into his house and catches his wife with another dude, and then all of a sudden there's gunshots and people are dead. That's the way men are. It's indentured in us. If you read The Culture of Violence in Southern States, written by Nesbitt, is one of the books. It's not really a book, it's more of an examination of the culture of violence in Michigan, from the Michigan State University. It's like you'll see that it comes from a mechanicism of herding cultures, and you want to protect your herd, your woman, your everything like that. And yeah, if they catch if a guy walks in and his buddy's got to just after he just after his doll look on his face, and he'd be like, will there be a murder? Will there be? And I can't wait, because I just can't wait to see that first article that's like his buddy was in an intimate affair with his non-biological woman. And I don't even know. I would have to they'd have to state it like that, and the press is probably like, well, how do we say this? And I just told him how to say it. He found an affair. She was having an affair with a non-biological woman, and violence. So there was a violent outbreak, because men are men. We're possessive about those things, and it's part of the problem with it's part of the problem with the whole dating and stuff, and the simping thing. Men are possessive. That's my car. That's my TV. That's my woman. And when they lose those things, they get angry, and you have to go through a period of withdrawal. But I wonder if it's the same. And this will be a great exercise for psychologists, because it's like, what are the effect of this paraphernalia when a man gets over. I think it's more of a thing of enmeshment. He gets enmeshed. Feelings for his non-biological female. It's like, we're gonna see it, and I'm gonna love it, because I'm just gonna sit back and laugh. It'll be about a half a day of laughter for me, and every time I'll be doing something, and then I'll just start laughing and giggling. It's like, man, the world, just take me now, because I've seen everything now. But every time I say that in my life, every time I say this, I used to do this around 50, years old. It's like, man, God, you could take me now, because I've seen it all. And once I've said that, something new and interesting always pops up, and I'll go, haven't seen that before. It's like something new, screwed up. They'll take it to a new level of screwed up. Topic was the moon landing fake? The Chinese moon landing? No, I don't think it was fake. The dark side, they landed on a better side of the moon. It was the dark side of the moon. They one-upped us. Yeah, they did. They one-upped us. The Chinese one-upped us. And yeah, I think it was real. I don't think anybody would go to that extent. That's some petty ass stuff. If they would go to just to say that you landed on the there we go. I was trying to make a MGTOW out of this coat hanger thing, but it's really hard. It's really hard, yeah. So MGTOW. Yeah, that's a good. That kind of goes in hand to hand with the flat earthers, doesn't it, Magnus? The flat earthers, they don't believe that it's round. That right there. It's not round. It's an illusion. They painted a picture. Somebody painted a big picture up there of a moon. And it's like, yeah, just like in your fake ass picture back there, Traversable. Someone just painted it up there. And I go, well, who painted it? It's like, because that would be the most interesting. Who do you think painted it? Because now we're getting some real interesting shit from you. But I suppose they'll come up with a new one on that. Who painted that moon up there? my. Lights in my front yard. I just heard a siren, and then there was lights. We've had a lot of emergency vehicles because of the extreme temperatures around here. I guess you can expect a lot of emergency vehicles during this time, which is a scary thought. I imagine, I was thinking about an apocalyptic day, you know, if the government just wanted to pull the rug out from all its people, you know, and like go, we got you again. And they would just turn off all the gas during a polar vortex and then see who survived. It's like, it would be a mass extermination of everybody from New York to Chicago. It's like everybody's dead. Some people will live, you know, but some people will just be like stupid and die. Do you believe the moon landing was fake? You must be an Illuminati puppet. You don't believe? Yeah, I'm an Illuminati puppet. Yeah, Aaron. No, I don't believe it was fake. I don't believe anybody would spend that kind of money. And you know what? That's the kind of crazy that I like, because if it was fake, it would be really cool. It would be really cool because you guys, and that's the kind of like, you guys spent all that money and you just made that whole thing up and everything, and just to say that you were on the moon first because the Russians were getting ready to do that. And then you think about like that answer, like the Russians were going to do that too. And then it's like, oh man, you so got me. And that was so cool. And that's the kind of sarcasm I like in life, because I would think it was just awesome. It's like, I'd be like patting them on their back. Like, you guys so got us. That's so cool. It's like, I love that stuff. It's like, but think about the crazy involved with that. If they did fake it, you could bring in all the psychologists from around and like, think about the delusion them people were under during that time about, if we don't beat the Russians to the moon, it'd be bad. And if that is true, then the Chinese were actually this year, just a month ago, the Chinese landed on the dark side of the moon and had some really shitty rover pictures. I thought they could get really better rover pictures than they had, and just like all day rover pictures. That thing's just running around at like 100 miles an hour on the moon, like a dirt bike, just spinning out and shit. Because that's the first thing I would do if I had those controls and I was like sitting there and I had this rover. Well, you'd do it too. You know you would. Every one of you guys would. I'd be like, I'm going to do a freaking spin out, and I'm going to do a 360 around here, and I'm going to write my name on the moon with that rover. And then before they kicked me out, I'd be like, there it is, Joe. Because I'm that kind of a dick. The first one was more instinctive. Yeah, my grandparents were always talking about how terrified everybody was when Sputnik was that's gravy back Bill launch, and they didn't, and all it was made a beeping sound. Yeah. Sputnik. Yeah, I remember that. No, I don't. Not really. I think I remember seeing it somewhere. Yeah. But would you if you had a rover, would you write your name in the moon? I would. So it'd be like peeing my name in the snow. I still do that every time I see a snow mound. I'm like, yep. I gotta pee my name in the snow. Like, yeah, I hope no one sees that. My father used to yell at me about that when I was a kid. It's like, here you go. Come in and go, Joe, did you pee your name in the snow? And I'd be like, no. It's like, but it says Joe. I don't know another Joe around here. He said one day, he says, I was up at the store and Joe was peed in the snow mound. And he's like, I was like, no, I didn't do that. I was like, I so did it. But that's part of being a man, growing up and everything. Growing up, little boys do things like that. Not anymore. They put them in jail. They like put them on Ritalin now. It's like little Jimmy was peeing his name in the snow. Sexual pervert. Put them on Ritalin now. And but that's what they'll do with the little kids now. But I always felt like I always felt bad for the kids with long names like Jimmy. Try peeing Jimmy in the snow. Yeah. Oh, you're so lame. You can't do it. You have to drink a whole 12-pack and hold it. Jimmy or Charles. Bob was always easy. Joe was always easy. Jim was always easy. But Charles, like, never know that joy, will you, Charles? But kids are funny. So what were we talking about? We're talking about the moon landing. Like, is it fake? No, I don't think it's fake. I couldn't believe that there would be that many people that crazy to actually spend that kind of money, and like we're going to perpetrate the biggest scam ever on the human race, and we're going to name it, and we're going to pretend like we landed on the moon because we know the Earth is flat. That's conspiracy theory, and it's fun to believe though. I go around this flat Earth all the time, and I kind of feed into their delusion. Because I know it's supposed to be entertainment, and that's part of the problem with YouTube now. Think about when you first came around YouTube, and there was like the conspiracy guys, and you knew like the 9/11ers and the New World Orderers and everything, and you knew it was conspiracy, and you knew it was fake, but you just kind of went in. The lizard people and Mel's Hole, the Mel's Hole up there in Minnesota, is it? I'm not sure where Mel's Hole. Someone can look that up if they want. And you just kind of knew it was all fake and made up and everything, and everybody was trying to come up with the new bestest, chupacabra. That's the newest, bestest conspiracy. What is lightning in your background? Oh, yeah, that's my M. It kind of fell up. It fell up. It did. It fell up. That's my M. M for MGTOW. But then my head's too low if I do that. I can go back a little bit and do that, I suppose. But I got all these. These are for my bike. Where are they at? Well, I got them around here somewhere. They're these things, and they got the little ends on them. And I put them on my bike at night so people can see me, and they flash like that. So I started bending it, like I sat there and bent it into an M for MGTOW, because that's what I do when you're bored. So there's an M up there, a big lighted flashing M, and I couldn't get the G. Did you see my G? It looks retarded. My G is retarded, and I can't get it to go right. And I was like, God darn it, become a G. I can't make a G. So that's that. Let me push that down a little. But as soon as I get that going, that'll be the opening. It's the MGTOW. As soon as I'm able to get a G right, never could hit the G spot. Cool. Yeah, it blinks. It's got 3 modes. I would show you the 3 modes. It's got blinking, it's got flashing, and it's got I like the blinking mode, and I was looking to get the ones for my tires that go into spokes, and that way it would be totally visible at night. But that's why I use those. I put them around the back and down the thing, and then I put them up in this V shape, and then around the front bars and up my handlebars, and then it's got 2 AA batteries in there, and it makes me highly visible at night. on my bike. So I bend them into shit. They're only like $8 too, so I could like buy a shitload of them. They come with five. They come with five of these things. Yeah, I got a shitload of these. This is the MGTOW yellow, and you got the little ends, and that's where they were. They were right in front of me. If you want to hide something right in front of me, and that's where I hid that stuff. So I'm gonna make a MGTOW out of them, all the yellow ones, because I have the blue and the red on my bike because those are official colors. I got the blue and the red for my bike, and then I had all these yellow ones, and I was like, I don't want to put yellow on it because I'm not a yellow sort of guy. Then I thought, well, MGTOW's a yellow. I could do that. Where's the laser gun? The laser gun's in the garage. It's become part of my efforts. I started a new project too. It was about I was making chlorine gas. I know you're not supposed to be making chlorine gas in your garage, because I was reading up about chlorine, and then I thought about I had the equipment already for the anodization equipment that I was making hydrogen out of. And then I had these panels that I wanted to use because I needed to get it up to 7.4 bar, which is 126 pounds pressure. And I was trying to bring it up to 126 pounds pressure in there, but I can't quite get it, so I have to get a pump. And I have I have water pumps, but I don't have oxygen. I don't have no pressure pumps for oxygen, and I don't want the chlorine coming out in between the box when I made the box, because I have this idea about this area, and then I infused it with a special kind of green salt. The green salt has copper in it already, so you can imagine where I'm going with this. Do you have a car? I have a van. I don't drive it ever anymore. I have a van out in the driveway. It's been sitting there for like 3 years now. It's an old work van I have. And I was going to drive it one of these days, I suppose, but I got real into like not driving. You ride your bike, take Uber, there's a bus. Because I seen like all that other stuff is just more taxes on you. There's just more road taxes. They're supposed to be building the roads for but they don't, and then everything goes everywhere else. And then I got, you know how I am. I get like, I'm just not going to do that. No, man. I'm going to fight the system. And it's so unfair. So I just stopped driving. Actually, I stopped driving because somebody like tried to ram me, and I just got so sick of it. I was like, Jesus, some woman tried to ram me, and she looked right at me, and they had that evil look on her face as she tried to ram me. And in a parking lot, because she was mad at me for something I had said, because I'm such a pleasant guy. And so I stopped driving. I couldn't never get into that. So it's in the driveway. I was going to trade it in for a car. Then I thought, well, what do I need a car for? And then I was like, I could always use the business part of it. But I was going to sell the business because the business van is in there. Everything's, the equipment's all in there. So I was just going to sell that. But 2 cars and a truck. You got 2 cars and a truck? 2 cars and a truck. Yeah. See, I'm just not into it no more. I'm just not into nothing. Do I got the efforts? That should be the title of this. I don't care about nothing anymore. Nothing excites me. And you know what I always say, no expectation, no disappointment. Nothing excites me anymore that much in life, except for really, really evil people. And that's probably where I'm going to go someday, is like the study of really evil people. But it's not too far to find really evil people. I grew up with psychopaths in my life. I often talk to my friend about one of my friends. He's dead now. His name was Chucky. We call him Chucky, and he was like Chucky too. He was a true psychopath. He had no consciousness of right or wrong, or this was mine, this is mine, and this is yours. And it's like, no, that everything was his. All he had to do was figure out how to get it from you. And he spent most of his life in jail, but we got to witness some of the most bizarre things. We liked him because he had an ability to love that was up and beyond. Me and my brother, he just loved us, and he'd be like, you guys, I just love. So he never hurt people that he loved, but all the rest of the world was like, yeah. So that was my psychopathic buddy. And hello, Doug's been out like a bunch of times today, and he's on his second can of food, and he thinks I'm going to give him another one. And he's been eating the Purina Pro Plus, which was really expensive for a dog, and he thinks he's getting over on me, and he is. Because I felt so bad that he's like it's winter and he's been outside and stuff. So he's like, well, Joe, yeah, I so got over on you. He thinks he did, but I'm just being nice to him. So what was the topic today? The topic started off with Angry MGTOW, and Angry's left again today. We worked up what happened to Howard Dare. Is Howard Dare back yet? Is Howard dead? Howard ran off with a woman. Angry MGTOW ran off with a woman, Barbarossa, and that's the shape of MGTOW today. Someday they're going to get all these guys together. You know how this is going to go. The eventual end to your MGTOW is running off with a woman, and then they'll be like, "Ha, gotcha! We were right." It's like, no. The exception to the rule doesn't make it the rule. But you know that's where they're going to go, and how hard it betrays what you believed in for all these years when you do things like that. And did anybody win? You almost fought a German Shepherd today. That would be really cool. I've never in my life been in a fight with a German Shepherd. They're nasty. They are nasty. And I've got chased by one. You have to present your arm. Whatever arm you're not going to hit them with, you present your arm, and then you beat them on their head until they pass out. That's how you fight a German Shepherd. But you have to give up one of your arms. You just must. Yeah, you're still here, and it's good that you're still here. You won. You won. Dougie, Dougie, you're starting to worry me. He's in his passive aggressive stance with me. He wants something. I don't know when he gets passive aggressive, he does passive aggressive things. And to piss me off, he does. German Shepherds. Wow. Yeah, my buddy had a German Shepherd. And then at first, when you said that, I thought like a German Shepherd, like a shepherd of sheep. And I was like, man, I would like to get in a fight with a German Shepherd of sheep. I got in a fight with an Amish guy once. I did. My wife was pissed that day, too. She was like, Joe, it's like you're the only person I know that ever got in a fight with an Amish person. You should be so ashamed. And I was for about probably a quarter of a day. You won the fight. Good. MGTOW always wins the fight because we're passive aggressive and we're just kind of nasty. So it's like, yeah, I stabbed him in the eye after like he thought it was over. Sorry. Doug's looks like shit now. He's got like that stuff running out of his eye from being out in the cold. And he's like, looks at me like all pathetic, like I'm going to give him the ham. He knows it's in the fridge, and he wants it badly. It's like, that's mine. That's yeah. So Angry has left. Barbarossa went out, got himself a girl. Angry got himself a girl. I think Spetsnaz did too, so we could add it to the Spetsnaz. Angry CS always had one. It's like we got this building MGTOW failure list, and you know the blue pill people are just they're going to be right on that. And I suppose we can see that someday one of our detractors are going to come and they're going to say, well, look at your success rate of your major producers. They always go back to so it's natural. It is. It is natural. I'm not saying it's not natural. I'm not saying that. So is you know what else is natural? When the female praying mantis bites the male praying mantis's head off, it's natural. But it's not a good thing. It's not something you want to have happen to you. You can imagine if you just got done mating with your girlfriend, you breed and you're sitting there in that afterglow, and she's just like, oh man, your face is looking so good. And then she got these big teeth and she just takes a big chunk out of your face. It's like, oh man, that is so natural. Yeah. You know what else is natural? Chipmunks. The chipmunk, he comes up and he runs up and in chipmunk sex takes like anywhere between 1 second to 10 seconds. And he comes up and he hits it from the behind. If you ever see the chipmunks running around, watch it one day. Because what they're doing in the spring, they're running around and then running up on it and they're hitting against each other. Well, in that second that he hits her, and that's why you call it hit it, and he actually hit it. But that's natural. But yeah, like we couldn't equate that with humans. Like if I'm running through the woods, I just run up and hit it, and then it's like and then run away. And it's like, yeah, that's natural. Men aren't supposed to stay around. It takes this fast. You just hit it. And it's like, because the chipmunks do it. No, sometimes Darwinism is silly. I was thinking about Darwinism today too. Darwinism is interesting. And I was thinking about rights, and not right, but I was thinking about what was his name? He was the guy that was arguing with Morris. Morris was just starts with a C, but I can't remember his name now. I thought I was going to write it down or take a mental note, but I didn't. And he had some interesting ideas about Darwinism and religion. That's what Metaphysical Club was, about Darwin and the metaphysics of religion. And whether it played a part in the inner theater. The inner theater was, they all call it something different. I call it the inner theater. It was the brain, the things that happen naturally to you. If someone ran up behind you and put a feather on the back of your neck, your hand would come up automatically and you do that. Did that take any thought? Did it take any thought? And metaphysics would say, no, it comes from the inner theater. You just did it because you're pre-programmed for that something from evolution, and evolution and your mind have a lot to do with it. And then, but what Darwin failed to realize, this has always been the question about what's that island out in the middle of the Pacific that got those big statues on there. If you took a bunch of people and you put them on an island, like a bunch of babies, like Dougie size, sorry about Dougie. If you put a bunch of babies on an island and somehow miraculously they all grew up to be a culture, you came back like 1,000 years later, instinctually in the mind of a human, without even knowing it, they would erect statues of some entity, some god. So it is in. So the idea of God is imprinted in our lizard brain. It is. It's you just gotta say it. All cultures have some deity, and even those people that were out in the middle of the I can't remember if it was Atlantic or the Pacific. Fill me in on that. They have those big statues. You know, the happy face statues. They almost look funny. And yeah, these people were out there, and they had this. Nobody had influence. There's no Jews. There was none of us Irish people that came up and told them that, oh, you got to build a statue to a god because we're all Christians. Nobody told them that. Somewhere in that culture, a very small culture, an abysmal culture, a matter of fact, where they probably had, you know, it was probably like 200 people. You know, it was maybe up to 2,000 at one point, and they just were on this island, and they made these big statues of their entity. So how did they know? And that's the question I asked, and that's sort of the question Sanders was asking, and Williams was asking, and that's the question that Darwin. I think even Darwin goes on to try to explain with theory of evolution, why in the mind, all of us go that way sometimes. I don't know. And I seen a great, and that's what Dewey was saying too. Dewey with his child, I think, and it's how we teach our children and everything. And he got all depressed that when he lost his child, but Dewey was saying, do you need to tell a child about the existence of a God? And I think at some point in your life, they would just, if you didn't even never mention it, they would ask you about the existence of a entity. And I don't know, I can't say that proves the existence of that entity. I says that proves that men have deep inside of their minds, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking men and humans, that we have a need to have an entity, something greater than ourselves that guide us in this universe. And that's all that says. It doesn't say that there actually is a God. But, hey, we can, argue these things out and MGTOW, me. That's what this is, MGTOW. I was thinking about the me generation today, and boy, those guys got it rough. I didn't even know how to. I didn't even know how to cover that. It's like without offending the memes, because they're so triggered about everything. They're not like me, that's for sure. I mean, people were yelling at me on the internet, and I want to put them in jail. I want to have a MGTOW sign. You want my M? I'll ship you my M. Anybody that wants an M, I'll make you an M and ship it to you. You can make a MGTOW sign easily. That's what I was trying to do. I was going to make a MGTOW sign. That's my original, but it got too big. I was thinking this is way too big, so maybe, and you got to buy these things. They're 48 and 38, 36 inches long, and you need a longer one. You need about a 72-inch one to make a proper MGTOW sign that would be about this big. And so I'm going to look for a 72-inch one. Maybe I can find, or you can cut the shit too. I want to make that. That would be really cool. Let me put that up. I have to approve your messages now. So if you see them and I forget to approve one, just yell at me and I'll approve the messages, because YouTube is going to force that on me. And every time I start, they're like, don't you want to do this? And we're not going to, and I thought, well, maybe that's why they're censoring me, because I don't do this. And the P worship generation. Yeah. Oh man, they got it bad too. I was trying to think of whether we had it that bad. And yeah, we did, because we were cat callers. I was a cat caller when I was young. I was like, look at that, baby. Ooh, come on over here. Get some of this. Got a 6-pack. Yeah, you want some, baby. It's like one of those guys. So I had it bad too. I guess we all have it bad. But they have it bad with the attitude of the maturing woman now. By the time she's 14, she's she's already 26, and because of the internet. But man, I don't know. It's like the Me Too generations I like to look at I watched the fire festival thing, and it sums up the Me Too generation and how they think, and the advent of the social media, and how important it is to everybody now to have a good social media presence, and your YouTube presence, and everybody's got to think you're great. And I don't see that in my generation at all. It's like, I don't care. It's like my generation just sucks, I think. I'm of the generation Jones. I'm between the boomers and the Xers. I'm generation Jones, the lost generation of kids that got attached to the boomers just because they were our parents. I hate you. And we don't even get a generation of our own. That is so unfair that people my age don't get a generation. of of our own. And it's probably one of the more important generations too, is Bill Gates and most of the computer designers and everybody that gave you like all this, and all that stuff. And we get attached to the end side of the boomers, which is hippies. I hate hippies, even though I say, God, I hate them. It's like I don't want to be a hippie. But I am one. It's self-hate. It's like Jewish self-hate. I'm a hippie and I hate myself. So so that's it. So what do you guys think? I don't know. Is this a YouTube MGTOW lately? And are the detractors going to say all your MGTOW heroes they're all like they all prove that our point that MGTOW is just the eventual end of MGTOW is you just go get a girl and admit and do your public recantation that I was so wrong about that. I was just so wrong. I can't imagine. I'd shoot myself before I admit that I'm wrong about something. But that's going to be it. And I think I'm almost done here. I think Dougie wants to go outside, and I'm gonna let him do that. And I just wanted to come around anyways, just to say hello, stir up some thought, talk about pragmaticism, because that's where the roots of MGTOW is pragmaticism. And I'll do Dewey probably this week at some time, and we'll talk about Dewey and that cast up to Foucault, and that's about it. That's all I got to say. Well, I don't. That's not all I got to say. I can go on for years, but for the time period, that's I'm willing to do anymore, because I do have the efforts. It's like I'm not doing 4 hours anymore. No, no one appreciates it anyways, and they hate me. They hate me. I should get one of those shirts, the basketball shirts, that he hate me. Well, it's a football shirt. That was when the AFC he hate me. The replacement people. I always wanted one of those shirts. He hate me. Because the dudes just be great. But that's the way I feel sometimes around here. It's just thanks. Okay, so that's about it today. And Angry's back out again. He's getting married, and he's going to have kids. And Barbarossa is going to be his best man. And Spetsnaz will come and see us, and Stardust, and they'll be like, hey, we're all here. We all got our girls. And then all the guys from what is that? All the PUAs that, the bartender guy that they all got married. They'll be like, yeah, MGTOW was so wrong. Oh, no. Now, at some point, some guy can go, I told you he was a simp. That's what's going to happen. I've seen that 100 times on Angry's. I told you he was a simp. I knew that. Yeah, we all knew that. But, yeah, the shape of MGTOW. It's the me generation. I have to link that together in my in some kind of analogy someday. It's like how they're not going to make it. They ain't going to make it. They're going to become romanticism too, because that's cooler. And they'll get a better social status. Romanticism too, the memes. Okay, that's about it. And I'm going to get Dougie outside, probably give him some bones and some rest of his can, and they're $1.70 a can. That's all he eat now is the Pro Plus. It's like, Jesus, Doug, you're such an ass. What would happen to our Mighty Dogs? It's like, but he's a special boy. So all of you have a great day. Don't go out into the cold. Don't get freezer, or don't get burned. Don't get it. Freeze burns just suck. And try to keep yourself safe. And until this is over, it's going to last. The polar vortex is coming through, and it's going to last till tomorrow night at least. But be safe, and think about the risk. And that's what MGTOW is about: being safe and cozy in your own home. no risk. No one's going to take your shit again. And thanks a lot for coming around. And thanks a lot for listening to me ramble on about my uncoherent and uncollective podcast, which I didn't have a topic for. I guess MGTOW was always the topic. Thanks a lot for coming around, guys. And like always, most of all, thanks a lot for being MGTOW. MGTOWs.